Cathedral of Shadows, where demons gather.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Cathedral of Shadows, a MegaTen podcast. I am Rasen.
I'm Sparky.
And what are we going to be doing today, Sparky?
We're going to be reading fanfics. All about MegaTen.
All about the MegaTens.
All
of them. So we read creepypasta around Halloween, and since it's Thanksgiving, we decided to be thankful for bad fanfiction. So we're going to read some. 5 to be in fact. Do we want to get into our struggle yesterday?
Yes, we actually wanted to have this out for you all for Thanksgiving so that you also could be thankful. But we had a few issues.
Mostly because the fanfictions... Okay, I'll say creepypasta is a lot easier to make fun of.
Right. Because most of the ones that we had found were bad, don't get me wrong, but they were just so boring that there really wasn't much to say. They weren't even like so bad they're funny, they're just bad.
They were just really long and detailed, and like we found 2 of them were obviously jokes. One of them,
the Rhino one was pretty well written, actually. It was just boring. It was very detailed.
Yeah, that's true. There was one called Devil Summoner Pussy All Night that we really wanted to do, but it was actually fairly well written and really boring.
It sounds funnier than it actually was.
Yeah. That I looked at the title and I didn't even like read through it, and when we got to it, it was kind of disappointing actually to make fun of. Like we didn't have much to say.
It was like took place like in the 1970s, and they're like having a party or something.
Yeah, it was really weird. Then there was one that was written by someone who it was his first time writing anything in English. And there's a few funny things, but at the end of the day, we've both kind of felt like dicks, I think, for making fun of someone who's trying very hard. Because I mean,
you did try.
And to be fair, you could tell that he had a good enough grasp of the language that you could tell what was going on within the narrative. It's just that everything grammatically was screwed up, so that one didn't really work.
The first part of it was more of like a kind of a leading up to it. It involved like a Third World War. And it was a typical, like, you know, the U.S. and allies versus, like, you know, the new Soviet regime kind of thing. And, I mean, that went on for, like,
ever
20 minutes at least.
Yeah.
We kind of forgot when, like, the, you know, quote-unquote Megami Tensei thing finally came back up. We kind of forgot what we were really doing with it.
Yeah. It was like, wait, World War III's done.
We did have one good one, and we'll...
we're redoing the good one.
We could have salvaged it, actually, but we kept referencing, like...
We referenced the prior ones, and there's too many like self-referential jokes, so we couldn't salvage it, unfortunately.
And nobody would have like stayed around for it all. Like nobody would have posted pancakes, so we just decided to start over.
No one that
this is about new beginnings.
Anyone who listened to 7.5 isn't going to get that, but okay.
Why would you not listen to 7.5?
I don't know. A lot of people say that's their favorite episode. I think that's mine, just because of how like we both kind of lost it at the end there.
Right. I hope it happens today. I hope this is the new 7.5.
I hope so too.
What is this one, 12, or are we 11.5?
It was 11.5.
All right.
You're not cool enough to have your own mainline number, Sparky. Don't get ahead of yourself, you bastard. Yeah, you are the persona of the Cathedral of Shadows podcast. So we have I have a few things to talk about before we start this. So just gonna skim down the line. I'm gonna link to a fan subbed version of the Persona Q trailer because a lot of people seem to be confused about if Persona Q is canon or not. Not that it really matters, but fanboys will argue over anything. But there is a plot excuse for why certain people are alive when they shouldn't be logically. Basically, it's some bullshit time travel excuse, but there are people saying, oh, Persona Q is non-canon because these people shouldn't be alive, when in actuality, there is an excuse. So I just wanted to make people aware of that. So I'll link to the fan subs trailer below, and hopefully if you see people saying false information, you can give them the fan sub trailer and they will be enlightened. Second one, show does in fact have 2 forms. Katsu said that last episode. I think it was, I'm not sure if he knew that for a fact or if he was just estimating. I think the reason a lot of people were confused about this was because the actual trailer that we saw show only was using one form, and that one had no persona. But during the actual reveal, when we saw more gameplay, we saw show using a persona, and his persona is Tsukuyomi, which is weird because that's a demon that we barely see. I think it was in Persona 2 and Shin Megami Tensei 2. So that's an odd choice, but you never know. So yes, Cho does in fact have two forms. And then three, Sega discussed a little bit about Atlas, and basically it sounds pretty good. They referenced the fact that there's a lot of North American fans of Atlas titles, and they said they don't want to make them mad. They referenced that Atlas has a lot of really cool IPs to work with, specifically citing Shin Megami Tensei. They talked about the Persona reveal and how that was awesome and how it made fans happy. Basically, they're saying it'd be stupid to change Atlas in a way that the fans wouldn't like because that defeats the purpose of buying them in the first place. So that's all good news. Sega is basically letting Atlas do their thing under them. And then the last thing is Atlas related Black Friday sales. For next couple of days, hopefully this comes out fast enough. SMT4 DLC is all under $2, at least the story DLC is, which I highly recommend picking up if you like bonus boss type stuff. I'm currently stuck on Ancient of Days myself. I'd say it's worth it. And Persona 4 Arena is like 13 bucks or something on PSN, so if you're interested in getting that, now's the time. So that's it for Atlas related news. You want to get into the fan fiction?
More than anything.
All right, so we have a structured order this time,
Yes.
mainly because we had to. The creepypasta, both of us were kind of blind to it. You can't really do that with fan fiction because that's what we tried doing last night and it just failed horribly. Like that was the first time
Yeah.
I've recorded something for like this podcast that both of us were kind of like, yeah, this is not good. We don't want to have our names on this. So,
Yeah, that got kind of weird there.
yeah, like it was just this
It was
awkward.
boring. Like you're not missing anything.
Yeah, like it was 2 hours long. We didn't even read emails or anything. Like it was just like there's a lot of stuff we just like didn't have anything to add on to it because it was just stupid and long. Okay,
Yes.
so the first one we want to read is called Hate by Pterodyne. And the description is a small drabble about hate. I'm assuming this is a Devil Survivor fan fiction. Yeah, I think it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah.
He liked him more than he should have. Makoto understood this. No other boy his age had this problem, this incredible urge to hold, love, and protect. His cousin, his older cousin, his older male cousin with whom he, as his
Line two, gay incest. All right, now we can get on with the show.
yes, uh, with whom he, as his parents and Naoya said countless times before, was practically a brother to. But he hated that. He never once saw the two of them as siblings, and he hated that too. And lately, it made him more frustrated than ever. Snapping at the albino, getting into petty arguments with him whenever he could. Anything to drive a stake through his heart, to kill the emotions that he shouldn't be feeling. But he couldn't. So he apologized, suddenly one day, to the older male, and in the only moment he had ever seen Naoya off guard, he took his chance. He kissed him, and he liked that. The end.
God, was that retarded?
Yeah, that was bad. It was pretty bad. Uh, we have one review, and it's from uh, Dutrire, and it quotes anti like that. They fucked up the quote, and then they just say that melted my heart, crying face. Um, it's really pathetic. Okay, there's not much to add to that one, to be fair, but I thought it was really pathetic and hilarious enough to add for a nice little intro.
This is kind of like a template. You could take out any name in here and replace it with like Cloud or somebody and
Sephiroth.
Sephiroth and just go with it. Would be the same kind of thing, except maybe the albino part. But
And he hated that too. That
he
the
wasn't
fan fiction
albino. He hated it.
just want to anger fuck everyone. Ugh.
There will be time.
Mm.
Well,
Imara is ready. So thank you, Pterodyne, for that god-awful clusterfuck of incest and awfulness.
Oh, now we have a treat because we're at Are we ready for the next one?
Yeah,
All right. Well then, this one's called A Sidekick's Point of View, a Persona 3 FES story. This is by Sonic 103. The avatar is looks to be a Sonic render with like official artwork from. This looks to be like Sonic
Secret Rings, I
06,
think that is.
Secret Rings,
God, it's pathetic, I know that. I feel bad. I don't even
but
like Sonic.
he's colored black,
Yes,
so you know he's edgy.
he's very
Um,
emo, the Sonic.
the synopsis of this is Brad Kotai is just a regular boy who moved to Japan with his best friend Josh. The two plan
Very
on having
Japanese names.
a regular year at their new school until things happen.
Oh shit,
This
things
story,
happen.
this story is being co-written with me and Jay the Gilded Sword, so you know it's gonna be good.
Oh,
This was
there's two authors. That means double the awfulness.
collab. This was rated Fiction T. It's in English, and it was published on January 28th of this year.
Oh fuck, really?
Yeah.
You,
Also, if you're ever bored, like go pick up like an old game like Skies of Arcadia or something, and go on fanfiction.net and realize that like people have been writing this stuff since like 2002, 2003. It's kind of like sad to see like the old internet stuff still sitting around. Fanfiction's a good time capsule. Tales of Symphonia works good for that too, because it all turns really gay really quick. Anyway, that's another podcast for another time.
oh fuck no. See, people keep telling me to get into Tales, and then I hear shit like this, and I don't want to anymore. Thanks,
Yeah,
Sparky.
you're welcome. It also turns into secret incest pretty quick too. Spoilers. Anyway, those who played Symphonia know. Anyway, which is pretty much everyone but Rasen.
Yes, pretty much at this point.
So, the screeching of the train awoke me from the deep sleep I was in. I look around. All I see is my best friend, which is capitalized like it's some sort of like proper title. Best friend, Joshua, staring out the window. The blasting in my ear was starting to bring pain to my eardrum, so I pulled out the headphones that were connected to my iPod. I had forgotten that I had them there. I tapped Josh on the shoulder, and he turned to me. Dude, do you have any idea what's going on? I asked him. He shrugged and went back to looking at the window. Not out the window, at the window.
Dude,
Damn
it's
it,
so
nice
clear.
window.
Wow. That is a pimpin' window.
Josh liked to zone out a lot. He would stare out a window and wouldn't give a care in the world.
Oh,
I
how
realized
edgy.
too cool to care. I realized my legs were killing me, so I stood up. I look around the train. There wasn't anybody on there. That's weird, I thought. I thought there were other people on the train. The
So this is
train had
like a PG version of The Hangover.
pretty much. The train had finally halted to a stop, so Josh and I collected our things. You see, we had just flew here from America.
USA,
Oh,
USA.
the invasion has begun. Our parents thought it would be nice to send us to Japan, which is lowercase,
Because
like
it's an
best friend,
inferior country, America.
for our remaining high school years. You know what would be really great if we just sent you to Japan.
Fuck you guys, just go to
For
Japan.
you.
We just want to fucking get drunk for a year, for a couple years here in America. Screw you guys. We don't want
Just
kids.
know what it's like to live again. Don't ask me why. I had no idea. All right, well, let's try that. Anyways, the train doors opened and Josh stepped out of the train. I had my bag in my hand and I looked around. There were coffins all over the place and there was blood on the side. Josh, where the hell are we? I asked curiously.
Nippon.
He just shrugged and kept walking. I stepped out of the train and walked toward the nearest coffin. It looked like it was made of stone. Dot dot dot. Weird. Hey Brad, will you hurry the hell up? He half shouted. He then pulled out his MP3 player. See, he just said his generic MP3 player. It's not like like Josh's or Brad's, whoever, iPod, and grumbled about it being dead. I checked my iPod and I saw that. See, he's subtly like more classy. He has like the socially
Yeah,
accepted
yes.
brand. It's too deep. And I saw it wasn't working either. I sighed. I guess it had been a while since I passed out, since I recall being fully charged.
Is he a robot? Is this Igus's soulmate?
I can't listen to music.
My iPod is dead. Fuck.
The two of us walking down the street, seeing more weird coffins and stuff. We then approached the dorm we would be living in for 4 years. How long is high school in the wait?
Japanese
No,
high school is 3 years, if I recall correctly. By the way,
but
so
their remaining ones, they came from the United States, so they should at least have one of these done. Whatever.
yeah.
Whew, it's, oh wait, no, I'm skipping a line, my bad. Well, this is it, Josh said. The two of us headed inside. As it turned out, the lights were actually on, unlike the rest of the city. Whew, it's been a long day. I'm gonna head to bed,
Let's get to fucking.
provided that I find the right room, I say, starting to walk toward a staircase when we hear a voice speak out. Stop! The voice cried. It was coming from my right. We turned to face a small boy. He looked at us with large, funny eyes. Funny eyes.
Mm.
He had weird clothing too, like he was a prison escapee. He gave us a little smile. Hello, I've been waiting for you, the mysterious boy said. There's always a
Threesome.
mysterious boy. He then pulled out a long document out of thin air. I need you to sign this contract, he said. It just says you accept full responsibility for your actions. You know, the usual stuff, he said in the most suspicious possible way. The boy pulled out a pen and handed it to Josh. I pulled Josh away from the boy.
Hold on, you make sure you
Get your
don't
hands
install
off
any. Don't make sure you don't install any extra toolbars. God damn
me. No, I don't want the ass toolbar.
it.
Josh, don't you find this kid a little weird? I asked. He looked at me like I was the biggest idiot in the world. How so? He asked. Well, he's the only person we've seen since we've gotten here. He's creepy. And what was it? Oh yeah, he pulled a document out of thin air. I reasoned.
So angry.
Bro, you need to live a little. Talk to this kid. Live, dude. Besides, if this is just some sick joke, there's no harm done, he said. He pulled himself back toward the kid. He then signed the contract. Josh Mando, he said as he finished writing his name. The kid took the pen back and he looked at me, expecting me to step forward. I sighed and signed the contract. Baka. Brad Cote, I said while signing. The child chuckled and rolled up the contract, making it disappear. The kid then disappeared. I have a bad feeling about this, I said. Suddenly, there was some noise coming from the stairs. A girl appeared holding a gun. She pointed right at me. Who's there? The girl asked. My eyes widened. Oh, crap, I thought. A couple
This is just
thousand...
like Detroit. Oh, fuck.
I hate when girls come down the stairs. Damn it. A couple thousand things went through my mind at that moment. One was, wow, that girl's kind of hot. Two, I think my breath kind of stinks.
If you weren't sure this was a self-insert before.
Yeah. And three, what the fuck? This girl's gonna kill me. The girl pointed a little at Josh, but when I tried to step back, she pointed at me again. I was really nervous, thinking death was about to be brought upon me by a crazy girl. She looked like she was about to pull the trigger when I heard a female voice shout, Takeba, stop! The girl turned around, and a girl walked down the stairs. A girl with dark red hair and the most beautiful face I'd ever seen.
Oh my god.
Oh
Every
god.
time.
It's gonna be a long night.
Yes.
The crazy girl smiled and nodded. They do that a lot. She put her gun into her pocket. We're gonna keep this gun in my pocket.
Not the holster, just the pocket. I work at a gun range, trust me, I do this all the time.
I just keep my gun in my boobs.
Okay.
I was still kind of nervous, not trusting either of the girls. I took a couple steps back and then hid behind Josh. Josh gave me an ugly look and stepped away from me. I sighed. It was really embarrassing.
Oh man, I almost died. How embarrassing.
Josh, stop. Suddenly, the lights outside flickered on, and both my iPod and Josh's MP3 players started blaring out music again. All right,
I
I've heard
fly
an
like
iPod
people get high
blaring
like
out.
flame.
All I want to do is Persona.
That's what I was imagining both of them were playing. Synced up at exactly the same time.
Well, they are besties after all.
They got more records than the KGB.
Third world democracy. The two of us stood side by side, defense more than anything else. I didn't expect you two to get here so late, the red-haired girl said, comma, smiling. So, Josh Mano and Bradley Cote, was it? What are they doing here? The girl with the gun asked.
What are these weeaboos doing here?
Josh, Japanese last name, and Bradley, Japanese last name. Okay. Well, this is only a temporary assignment. Soon they'll be moved to a room in the boys' dorm, she replied. I'm Mitsuru Kirijo, she said, stretching her hand out toward us. I reached my hand out to shake it before Josh interrupted me. Kirijo, as in the Kirijo Group. You're one of the most successful businesses in the world, he exclaimed. Yeah, Mitsuru said. And this is Yukari talking about. She'll be a junior this spring. Just like you guys.
Oh,
Oh,
besties.
hey, Yukari said sheepishly. Hey, I replied this time. Why exactly do you have a gun? I was kind of curious. Well, she started, her face showing how scared she was. It's sort of like a hobby. Her hobby is collecting guns. Oh god, she's a crazy girl. Well, not a hobby, she continued. Mr. then chimed in. You know how it is these days. It's for self-defense.
I'm pretty sure firearms are illegal in most parts of Japan, but okay.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
I highly doubted that a couple teenage Americans were going to do much damage to a dot dot dot. No, hyphen dot dot dot. Never mind. It's not a real gun, of course, she said. Then, why are you carrying it around then? I asked.
We
She
have
bowed.
Nerf wars every midnight.
It's kind of like a sexy pillow fight, but a little more intense with suction cups.
Every time you get hit, you need to strip.
One hit and you're out. She didn't bother to answer, but as long as I wasn't getting a bullet to her head, I guess I was okay. Your things have already been brought up to your rooms. Just go ahead. You're on the second floor at the end of the hall, Mitsuru said. After she said that, I realized just how tired I really was. Yukari chimed in. I'll take you there, she said. I'm just going to point out this about just writing in general. It's like Yukari chimed in, she said something, then she said. You only need one of those. You don't need to say she's going to say something. She
Yeah.
said this, then she said that. This happens a lot. And chimed in is being used way too much. Chimed in is like, also this. Okay, I'm leaving now.
Yeah.
It's not like, here's my speech. Damn.
Well, you know these people don't talk to people in real life, so they're not sure how conversation works.
When I talk to people in real life, I end all my things in ellipses. I'd be like, Rasen, mm.
I was reading an interview recently with some author, and he said that like English classes have made people afraid of just saying said, when 90% of the time that's what they should be using.
Exclaimed. Everybody overuses that one. It's like everyone just
Ejaculated.
Ejaculate, yes. It just blew a metaphorical verbal load all over the paper. Anyway, what the hell was I talking about?
I
All
don't
right,
remember.
their room is on the end of the hall. Mitsuru said that, and blah blah blah. I'll take you there, she said. The three of us then walked up the staircase onto the second floor. We walked down the hall and faced two doors right across from it. Well, this is it. It's kind of easy to remember, it being on the end of the hallway, Hikari said happily. Well, duh, just walk to the end so you can't walk anymore. And touch the nearest door. Here's your keys, she said, handing us both our room keys. Make sure you don't lose them, or you'll never hear the end of it, she said. I nodded and walked into my room. I heard Josh and Yukari talk for a little while, and then silence. I slid under the covers of my bed and began to fall asleep almost instantly. How do you begin to fall asleep almost instantly?
Almost instantly, like there's like a 3-second pause, and then he finally fell asleep.
But the beginning, so like the first 2 seconds of that was the specific event, then there's another one, and
Yeah.
then it's like, man, a second is a long time all of a sudden. I soon succumbed to fatigue and passed out. Okay, that's the end of this chapter. Hey, it's Sonic 103 here with another story. This is something new for me because I don't usually write games like this. But I'm doing a co-write with Jay the Gilded Sword. Check out his version on his channel. Well, when he
Channel?
posted it, at least.
Is that what
Okay.
they call them?
I guess
This
so.
is not
but
YouTube.
This seems to be the only chappy for
There's
this.
yeah, the only Chappie, and
There's no
there's no
reviews.
reviews.
Which is a shame because this is beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, this is better than the other one at least. At least this one's kind of about the game, kind of sort of.
Yeah, I'm sure if this went on, Josh Kuhn would end up with Yukari Tan. And
No, Josh X Brad forever.
oh, okay. I'm sorry.
OTP.
Only on the train though.
Remember that time we were on the train? I thought you forgot, implying I could ever forget.
We were both listening to Paper Planes,
And you were listening on your iPod, and I on my MP3 player.
pirate skulls and bones, sticks and stones and weed and bones. Okay.
You know what? Actually, MIA might actually work as decent as a soundtrack for some of these games, to be honest.
For you know what? For 3, yeah, because it has
Yeah.
that like somber tone to it, but it's still really upbeat,
Right.
which sounds contradictory, and it is, but like it has like that weird slow like but kind of happy tone to it. I think it could work with
Yeah.
Persona 3. I'm gonna try that. Just gonna
That
play
kinda work,
MIA
yeah,
next playthrough of Persona 3.
for sure.
Um,
Thank you,
so
Sonic 103, for that.
yes, so this one is for my sensei, and it's by Sparrow, spelled Sparoe. The description is, I can help you. Those words triggered a chain of events that would send Teddy on the ride of his life. It would hurt. There is no denying it. Yet it would be all worth it. Yes, because it was all for Sensei. Oh, I'm
Oh
so
God,
happy. Okay, so this is short, but it's in 3 chapters, which honestly could have been all one,
I'd do anything for Sensei. I mean, it's worth it.
as long as he notices me.
He'll never notice me. Sky only notices me.
Darkness laced with confusion. Silence broken by heavy breathing, triggered by fear. I can help you. The man's voice came from a corner of the room, and Teddy squinted his eyes to try and see if he could make out something.
You could
Anything.
barely see it. Ah!
Oh my god, I see where this is going. Yet there was only more darkness. Help me? He repeated, straining to move only to discover that he was bound, helpless. That's correct. The voice came from a different part of the room this time. Yet Teddy hadn't even heard the footsteps. For you do know that you are the weakest link, right? Although there was no eye contact, Teddy's eyes dropped towards the direction of the floor. You are only causing problems for your leader. His head shot up at the title as the familiar face popped into his mind. Sensei, he whispered. Do you guys like my Teddy impression, by the way?
It's
So,
beautiful.
yes, your sensei. He pities you. I hope that you have come to realize this. You only have their friendship because they feel sorry for you. But fingers entered his hair out of nowhere, and he shivered as it ran down his neck. I can help you.
Fingers are entering my hair. Give me a sec.
Fear feed, guys. My hair is being entered.
I want you inside of me, in my hair.
Teddy's mind was having trouble digesting the words at first, running then over until he completed the loop before he swallowed and whispered, How? He could almost hear the smile irradiating off the other man's lips. How can you hear a smile?
I don't know.
I
Tell me,
will
go the Shadow World.
I will make you stronger. His breath tickled Teddy's ear. Oh my
Hmm.
god. Once we are finished
Strangely erotic.
Once we are finished here, there will be nothing that you can't handle. You must trust me. Though it might not seem like it at first, but everything I do will make things better for your sensei. The last word was almost a sneer, but Teddy didn't notice, more focused on the words than the tone. Okay, he whispered, biting back the fear that was creeping as a hand started to run down his shirt. I'll do it. Are you sure? The hand was getting dangerously low, and Teddy wanted to wiggle away, but he was stuck.
Teddy's easy.
God, Teddy, you slut. A shiver was running down the base of his spine, and he tried to suppress it the best he could, but he was sure the other man could feel it, with their bodies being so close and with his hands all over his body. There was no way that he couldn't feel every little move that Teddy made.
Teddy in
Yes.
any sort of sexual thing is just
I
ridiculous.
think this is supposed to be like the human form of Teddy, but I'm having more fun imagining like the actual bear suit form.
But even so, Teddy is just not like Teddy should not. He wouldn't even know what to do. Like
Oh my god, it's so unbearable. Senpai, I'm barely legal. No.
when I was in high school, some idiot on the school
You
newspaper.
molested a bear? I thought that's what you were going with that, but
Well, it does involve bears and sex.
fuck. Okay, carry on.
My retarded school newspaper, which no one ever really read, they made a story called "Barely Legal," and it was this person who wrote a story saying that the Brookfield Zoo, which is this zoo here in Illinois, was like violating the pandas' rights because they were videotaping the pandas having sex. So they wanted to like study their mating habits, and they thought like they were talking about like, oh, this is bad because it's violating the pandas' right, and like, why would you want like porn of pandas? Because pandas don't even have VCRs. I mean, like, it's the most ridiculous thing ever published anywhere. Like, that's not why they're doing it, you idiot. But like, this girl was really dumb, so.
The next thing you know, that video is on Pornhub, and everyone is just into it.
Where'd you get this, man? If anyone finds out we have this, they're barely legal. But that was the headline.
Yes. Let's see. Yes, he said, trying to keep his voice from shaking, but it was of no, but it was off no use as it quivered. I will do it. He took a deep breath, pausing for the moment, trying to build some kind of composure before speaking once. For my sensei.
God, I hope somebody loves me that much someday.
End of chapter 1. Anyways, chapter 2. It felt strange being touched like this. Fingers feeling places.
Strange journey.
I doubt this person has played that game. But anyways, fingers feeling places that that not even he had felt.
I didn't know I had
I
this
liked it.
part.
I like to think it's like a little bit behind his like armpit, just like, oh, I never felt there before.
I didn't know I have skin here.
Just like a little bit to the right of his knee, just oh, there. I never really felt there before. He squirmed.
Who squirms intentionally?
Yeah, he squirmed unintentionally. Sometimes I squirm intentionally for fun, just to piss people off. Just
Like when they're trying to touch parts that you don't know about.
well, that's the thing is like when people try handing me food at fast food restaurants, I just squirm and then slap the food out of their hands, and then I run away.
Oh, you dropped it. I hope you're gonna replace this.
Sorry,
Oh,
I have a squirming problem.
New one. I get you free food.
Whimpering as he did so. He didn't like it. The more the touching continued, the more painfully it started
Where
to
is he
get.
touching them? I've never been
The
touched there
zipper.
either. Ow.
I like to think he's just opening and closing Teddy's zipper, and Teddy doesn't know how to respond.
It's like putting like lemons or salt or something will like burn a little bit.
No, he wanted to scream, stop! He wanted it all to end as the discomfort and pain grew and the fingers became more intimate. A scream.
I don't understand how this works.
Dude, someone's feeling up Teddy.
Yeah, but bear costume or like person form, it's still kind of ambiguous.
A scream exited his lips as pain ricocheted through his body. The sounds echoed and filled the corners of the small room. Tears streamed down his cheeks.
God damn.
He wished that he could do something to break free from this man, or at least silence himself, but he was beyond that line. It was stupid. He was experiencing something that he didn't even know what it was called.
Oh God, Teddy, you poor thing.
When it was over with, he curled up into a ball and sobbed. What does that sound like?
It just sounds like TV static. Turn to a dead chick. This cable box has been disconnected.
Maybe Chie was the man. Aha! Is this my chance?
But she was wearing those glasses with the nose, so he couldn't even tell.
She used the nose. That was what was actually caressing him. Was Igor's nose.
I hate this story.
He curled up into a ball and sobbed. Even over the volume of his tears, he could hear the man snort. What? Who does?
How?
I'm molesting Teddy.
This is fun. Have you ever been touched here? Oh, hell.
Fire sensei.
Sensei wants it this way.
No wonder you are the weakest link. He poked Teddy in the stomach with his toe. You cry like a baby when you should be a man. He snorted again and stood straighter up and turned to walk out the door.
The snorting.
Oh, he called over his shoulder. Make sure you remember where you are. I expect you back here in 3 days' time. Oh shit, Teddy's a sex slave.
This requires several appointments.
Only through Persona 4 can we tell the youth of America, and I guess the youth of the world, because it's on fanfiction.net, the horrors of sexual slavery, and only through Teddy can this message be accomplished.
Right, it wouldn't work with any other character.
With that, he left the sobbing blonde in darkness. Oh, so I guess it
Okay,
is.
so alright.
I like
that
to,
ruined that image.
I still kind of like to think it's the bear form of Teddy, because that's just
Yeah, let's just keep thinking that.
more hilarious. He wasn't sure how much time it had pasted when his tears had finally run out. For at least for the moment, he tried to move, but it caused more pain. I have to get up, he thought, forcing himself to stand even though his body felt stiff. He felt dirty. if that was even a valid feeling, and he didn't want to look down at himself, not knowing what he would find. Oh, fuck, what?
What?
He felt around in the dark until he managed to find his clothes and dressed with the shaky hands. He stumbled around until he was able to find the door and walked numbly through a short hallway for letting himself outside. He didn't want to look around. He didn't want to remember his place, but he had to. He knew that he had to come back here in order to help Sensei. He bit his lip as he forced his eyes upward to take a good look around the area, even though it was hard to do so. Once he was sure that he would remember, his gaze was cast downwards once more as he quickly made his way home. To his luck, there was no one there when he stepped inside. He remembered at that moment that Yosuke was being forced to help out at Junes, which was where he himself was supposed to be as well. He shook off the thought as he made his way up the stairs, grabbing his pajamas and a towel before entering the bathroom. Oh shit, he's taking a post-rape shower. His legs gave out and he landed with a thud on the bathroom floor. Tears worked their ways out of his eyes and his body began to shake. He brought his knees to his chest and with a weak as a weak sob escaped his lips. No, I don't want to cry, he thought, but he was helpless against the war of his body. Still crying, he undressed,
Sounds like an emo band name. War of his body.
finally looked down at the damage of his body. He was covered in red and white, like the flag of the country he was living in.
What?
That's the best analogy.
Canada? Greenland?
I guess so. I like to think he just like when he poked his stomach with the toe, like he had like red finger paint.
the flag.
Now I'll never be able to share my first time with Yosuke-kun. Just comes into Yosuke's room in the middle of the night with a red paintbrush, drawing like red circles all over Yosuke's body. Now you'll look like a flag too.
Comes in wearing just naked, just draped with like a Japanese flag over him. How do you love me?
For honor of this country. Beneath that were places on his skin he was sure was going to bruise.
You know, this person probably thought they were just like so clever and poetic when they wrote that too.
But like the thing
So
is,
it's
like
like
rape
the
is a
flag.
horrible subject and like it's like a terrible thing, but it's happening to Teddy. Like you can't take this seriously. I'm sorry.
Teddy doing anything is ridiculous.
Exactly. Like I like to think this guy was like sitting one day alone in the corner of the cafeteria and he's like, you know what I should do? Write a fan fiction about Teddy being raped so I can finally express my feelings to the world.
So he's so innocent. I'm tired of this. I lost my innocence. I'm gonna rape Teddy.
Oh, okay, where was I? He was dirty, covered in a mix of his own fluids and the one of a man whose name he didn't know. Oh shit.
How do you walk all the way home?
Yeah, I was about to say it.
He just
Yosuke's
like
gonna
walked all
come
the way
home.
from Junes to home covered in.
Yosuke's gonna come home, there's gonna be semen everywhere.
You started without me? Come on, partner.
Wow. Covered a mix of his own fluids and the ones of a man whose name he didn't know. There must be a name for people like this. But what did he know? He turned the water hotter than he could take and tried to revive at least some feeling. Holy shit.
The worst part is they made me feel like I could be something.
He wasn't sure. He wasn't sure how long he had been in the shower. However, the water had turned ice cold, making him shiver as he stepped out. He looked himself over in the mirror after wiping the steam off as best as he could. While he looked a lot better than he had when he first entered the shower, he didn't feel clean inside. He didn't believe that there was enough soap to handle such a job. He then took a moment to look at his old clothes, which were dirty and stained with blood. It made him want to scream just looking at the stains as memories flickered into his mind from the night's horrible events. He wasn't sure what to do with the clothes since it would be dangerous to leave them around in case someone were to find them.
Return them to Junes.
Something happened that I don't want to talk about, and I was wondering if I could get a refund.
We only get store credit. Aww.
He tries going to GameStop. Hey, power to the players. Want to try pre-ordering Battlefield 4? I just want to...
Can I get your name, bro? You got a power-up card? It's chill, man. I'll look you up in the system.
I hate how every single time you're like, I don't care about the power up card. It's just like, oh well, I'll make one for you, and it's like I already have one. Oh well, what's the phone number? I don't. I just want to buy the game. Just leave me the
Right.
fuck alone.
I think I have like 5 power-up things because sometimes they spell the name wrong and it's a different phone number, and my brother and I are on the same phone number in different accounts. Like,
And
that's
people wonder why people use Amazon over game like
right.
stores. But anyways, back to Teddy being raped. Um, let's see. He dressed himself in his pajamas and awkwardly, since walking wasn't all that joyful, went tot he kitchen and grabbed some plastic bags. Making his way back to the bathroom, he tripled bagged the clothes and deposed of them into a dumpster near the house.
What?
Once once the job had been taken care of, he went upstairs with the intent of crawling into bed and trying to sleep when the sound of the front door opening reached his ears just as he entered his bedroom. He poked his head out of the doorway just as Yosuke reached the top of the stairs. You! Where were you? You were supposed to be at Junes tonight. Because you pulled a no-show, I had to do twice the work. Yosuke,
Yossi's gonna get a turn.
Yosuke was standing right in front of him now, and he stepped back to make room in between them as he tried to think of something to say that would sound normal, even though he was feeling less than normal at the moment. I was I was trying to score a hot stud, he offered lamely, though it was without his normal amount of excitement. I was trying to score a hot stud, he offered lamely, though it was
Didn't he succeed? Possibly. Huh?
it's a fucked up way of looking at it, but sure. Though it was without his normal amount of excitement. Luckily for him, Yosuke was too angry at him to notice the difference. Dude, you don't even know what that means, Yosuke yelled, nearly foaming at the lips with annoyance. Oh, Jesus. Yosuke has rabies.
Jeez, okay, you really care about that.
Whatever, I'm going to bed. With that, Yosuke walked past Teddy and entered the bedroom. He loudly got ready to bed before shoving himself under the covers.
How do you
Teddy.
loudly get ready for bed? He's
Like
slowly with
this.
his shirt like against the wall.
Ugh,
Pow.
putting my pajamas on. Gotta change the TV. Ugh, like that. Anyways, um, he loudly got ready to bed before shoving himself under the covers. Teddy stood in the doorway for a few more minutes before he followed suit and crawled into bed, crying himself to sleep. And that's the end.
The end.
Uh,
Wow. It's a great story.
um, let's see let's see the reviews. Um,
But he only got raped once.
the first review is from someone called That Sick Bastard, and all it says is, "So did he rip his dick off or something?"
Was it, no, Teddy? Cries.
Yes, that's from
Not even in asterisks or parentheses, cries.
yes, Nerfer Terre. Um, Too lazy to log in says, I'm not quite sure where you're going with this, and it's certainly disturbing and depressing, but you've definitely captured my attention. Poor Teddy, this really makes you just want to wrap him in a blanket and hold him. It would be wonderful if you updated, but seeing as it's been 2 years since the last chapter, I'm not expecting too much. Still, I'll come back here every so often just in case. P.
Really?
Uh,
Here's interesting. Someone actually wrote a like an actual review.
yeah.
I won't mince words. This sort of subject matter is very challenging. I think you've got the feelings now, right? Self-loathing, fear, emotional pain, embarrassment. I'm not sure where you're going with this, especially since the chapters are so short. But it is compelling to see a story like this from Teddy's perspective, as a naif, if nothing else. Um,
What the heck?
okay. So rape is interesting from Teddy's perspective. Everyone else has already been raped enough. Yosuke, Chie,
I
Yukiko,
guess.
Kanji,
Uh,
Nanako,
for God, nope. Adachi.
Hidachi,
Adachi.
Koromaru.
Please stay tuned for my Devil Survivor 2 fan fiction. Anyways, um, actually, I am writing Donkey Survivor Ogre Clocked still, so yeah, that's. I uploaded a teaser for that. You know, 2 people unsubbed because I uploaded that teaser. I was kind of disappointed.
That speaks to a lot about our society. Good or bad, I'm not sure, but
They better check themselves before they Shrek themselves next time. All I'm gonna say. Um, So we're done with that awkward, creepy story.
The next awkward, creepy story.
Yeah, and it has probably. I will give this guy credit for the title. It's called The Worst Thing Ever Written. Um,
Although, actually, this probably isn't, to be honest. I mean,
yeah,
I don't think this one involves rape.
with Teddy.
Right, or at least with him, yeah.
This is by the Slack one, and it says Makoto Yuki decides he is bored and goes kill people. I got bored and wrote this, and I suck at summaries.
Oh, this one's my jam.
This is author's note. This is probably the worst thing I've ever written in all my years of living. So here it is, the steamy pile of shit that came out from playing too much Vijima games. Hate it. Okay.
When
Uh, Chapter 1. Where to begin? Well, basically, to start, I'm a fucking orphan. My name is Makoto Yuki or some shit. Or some shit. He's
you
not
can
really
address me
sure.
as Makoto Yuki, Yuki Makoto, or some shit.
Yeah,
Or shit some.
just like, who says that? Like, what's your name? Just like Rasen or some shit? Like, it's not important. It's not like an absolute. It's just some shit.
I like to be identified by my social security number.
My parents died from some car crash. I really don't give a fuck at this point now. Dot dot.
I love how they spell fuck.
Fuck.
F-U-K. Fuka.
I
I
don't
don't
give a
give a
fuka.
fuka.
Anyways, I was pretty much passed from relative to relative, each one thinking there was something wrong with me because I didn't really cry or mourn over my parents' deaths. Oh, being that edgy. One day I decided to run away. Ooh, I'm such a rebel. Anyway, I did my research or something and came to Chicago.
Oh,
Sparky, is this your autobiography?
you found me out. My name is actually Makoto Yuki. Or some shit. Uh, you're not whatever.
Sparky. Well, that's why you put it there because you're also referred to as Sparky on the interwebs.
Right. You know, whatever. You can just call me whatever you want.
I like this next sentence. Apparently, the city in the U.S. with the most gangs. He sounds so passive with everything. It's so annoying.
Detroit says hey.
Yeah. Um, I'm pretty sure New York is worse as well.
Los Angeles.
Yeah. Um, there wasn't really any reason for me to run away. Everything back at home was pretty peachy keen. That is the most gangsta expression to use.
Ballin'.
How'd that drive-by go? It was pretty peachy keen. I just decided to join into a gang for the hell of it. Then I'm hearing
This is confirmed to be written by a 13-year-old who lives in Chicago, by the way.
yes.
And actually, look when this was published. This was actually published this month, November 8th.
Oh shit. So it was not written by Lil Bill.
Guess not.
Then I'm hearing the ballers or some shit killing people, 'cause it's fun for me. Most people think I'm insane, but I think I'm... Can't think of a witty comeback right now. Comeback to what?
Mm.
But whatever. So after a few months, paid the people who were supposed to be taking care of me and told them about this shit. They didn't care as I expected, and that's pretty much it. 13 o'clock p.m. January 20th, 2009, Chicago, Illinois. Well, shit, I found something my guardian sent me. I didn't like it one bit. What? My fellow gangbanger, Carlos questioned. Somehow or some shit, I got accepted into some fucking prestigious high school over in Wapan. How the
Look at
fuck?
this. Some shit. It's one thing. Some shit. It's like one
Yeah,
word.
it is one word. Some shit.
Some shit. Bang.
How the fuck did I even get
With
this
an
in the first
apostrophe.
place? Did they send an application or some shit? In fact, how the hell did I even get accepted in the first place? I'm in a damn gang for God's sake. You trying to fook with me? Carlos as well was wondering if this was some kind of stupid joke. I'm starting to wonder if this fanfiction is some kind of stupid joke.
This is retarded as hell.
Nope, here's the letter. Doesn't make any sense. I handed Carlos the letter.
Shit.
Shit.
This is like one of those more like shows where they bring like they're going there like my daughter 13, she's sleeping with over 70 men a night. It's like whatever or some shit. I don't give a damn. I do what I want. Some shit. You don't know me. It's like one of those. This is terrible.
Shit, you're a best man. Like shit, you kill people without even thinking about it. We need more insane people like you. How the hell are we gonna manage without you? Carlos was pissed because seriously,
This is Carlos. Shit, you're a best man. Like shit, you kill people without even thinking about it. We need more sane people like you. I say, how are we gonna manage without you?
Wow.
Carlos was beast, but seriously.
Ayúdame! Carlos was pissed because seriously, I could start my own gang over there and just kick ass and kill more people. Ah, well, look on the bright side. You might be the only one in the Ballas who will actually finish school. Wait, what?
Hell's the Ballas?
It's a gang.
Oh, that's their gang thing? I thought they talked about like a neighborhood. Well,
Yeah,
I've
no,
never
the
heard of this shit.
Ballas.
God
They
damn, those are
ballin'.
retarded. That's retarded as hell. I'm sorry. Ugh,
This,
whatever.
that's straight out of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. The Ballas.
Oh, I
Shit.
never played that.
Oh, why not? Anyways.
Because you didn't buy it for me like you did the other one,
Oh yeah, that's right. I did.
bitch.
You know the worst part is I spent that $20 to buy you Grand Theft Auto 4 and we played it once.
Yeah, I keep asking if you want to go shoot people, and you're always too busy.
Yeah. Well, 5 is
What
out.
happened to us, Rasen? We used to kill people all the time.
Yeah, we did.
You know what the end was? When they sent me to that school in Wapan. How the fuck did I even get sent to this in the first place? They sent an application or some shit? Back, how the hell do I know I even got accepted in the first place? I'm in a goddamn
This
gang.
is this is actually this is actually an autobiography. My real name is Carlos. Is the thing, and this
Shut
is
up,
how
Carlos.
this is why me and Sparky this is this is why me and Sparky record over Skype and not next to each other is because he moved to Wapan.
Right, and you're in the Cook County Jail.
Exactly. Oh my god. For some reason they allow me Wi-Fi and a laptop.
I sent you some really cute candy I found in Japan. Hope your parole goes well. Love you forever.
Oh my god. Sure, I said, trying not to make it look like I'm going to betray them to T.O. start my own gang and shit. Alright then, you just relax, pack up while we mug people and threaten them to give us money so we can pay for your trip. Carlos was happy for some reason. Right then. Yeah, he bought it, I'm home free.
Yeah, boy.
23 o'clock p.m. Oh my god. Chicago, Illinois. Wait. Oh, it's just the time change. I realized that people might recognize me over there. So over the months, I grew out my hair, dyed it blue, and lost a shit ton of weight.
Now I look just like My Little Pony.
Now I looked fucking Japanese. Anyway, pretty much to my surprise, they did mug and threaten a bunch of people so they could pay for my flight to Japan. I mean Japan. So pretty much I was on my way to start my own gang or secretly kill people while attending school or some shit. And so that was indeed the worst thing ever written so far in my entire lifetime. Sorry to have subjected you to that. Goodbye for now, or whatever. I do plan on churning out more chapters of this shit. Why?
Yeah, here's my question. What does this have to do with Shin Megami Tensei? Persona or anything? This is filed under Persona.
I think this is the prologue. This is what happened before Persona 3 starts.
Alright. God, I hate this story. Or
There is no chapter 2, or
there's
there
no
there are no
reviews.
reviews either.
None.
Um, so how do we preface this next one?
Well, you know what?
This is
Maybe
the only.
they just need to experience it.
Okay, I will say.
Stick with us with this
I'll say
one.
two. I'll say two things. Yeah, stick. This one's long, but it's worth it. It pays off. Two things. One, this is the only one from last night that we decided to keep out of the
It's
original.
also the longest.
We originally read 7 and 6 were bad. This was the only one that is riffable. And two, Sparky's reading this shit. We already decided this because I already read this goddamn shit last night and I can't read it again. So
Damn
please read.
Fine, you owe me. San Andreas essay. It was selfish and dangerous and dishonorable. Miyato knew that. He was
Wait,
putting
you need to read the title and the author.
Oh, my bad. Familiar Pain, and all too familiar pain for Rasen and I, by Ava Zafan. The protagonist of Persona 3 is suffering from overwhelming stress and summons a persona to comfort him. And just like that, you all know what this is going to be about.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, now that that's out of the way. I gotta psych myself up for this one.
You kind of do, is the sad thing. It's even, I'm not gonna lie, it's worse knowing what happens, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is, because this is just until people start, you know what, let's just do
Let's
it.
just do it. Let's stop
All right,
talking about
let's just dive right in.
Let's go.
Going in raw dog. Going in dry.
Okay.
It was selfish and dangerous and dishonorable. Minato knew that. He was putting his life, his reputation, and his role in Seas at risk. Minato knew that too. Not only had he left the dorm during dark hour, but he had also procured his evoker from the command room when no operation was underway. These simple actions might as well have been a criminal offense in the eyes of Shuji
I'm gonna
or
let you
Mitsuru.
finish, but might as well have been criminal offenses.
What I read.
You said a criminal offense.
Oh, yeah, it's multiple. My bad. That changes everything.
Yes.
It's because that is what the story is about. These simple actions. Anyway, those people, either warranted severe punishment, and both were adequate reason to expel him from seas altogether. But Minato would perform yet another unforgivable taboo act before the night was through. He would summon a persona for reasons completely unrelated to the safety of the city. If a person possesses a rare power that few others share, it is only sensible to use that power. If that person's power can be used to save the lives of many others, it is only reasonable that he uses his power whenever possible. It was practically his duty to use his power. What kind of person would he have to be to turn down his position in the seas and leave the city's population just much more vulnerable to the shadows? He could not refused to protect the city because he was one of the few that could. Whether or not he wanted to be part of Caesar was irrelevant. It was his duty by principle, his obligation by circumstance. There were times when Minato felt honored to possess his power, privileged to be a member of Caesar, thrilled to know that by using his powers he was saving lives. And then there were times when the strain of his duty drove him to wish that his evoker was a real firearm.
Oh, so badass.
Mm. The horrors he had seen in Tartarus, the pain that those abominations had inflicted upon him, and the emotional distress he was forced to invoke on himself, sometimes several times per minute, in order to evoke his personae. Each foray into the yeah.
The
Each foray into
Tartarus.
the Tartarus. Man, this guy was doing pretty good too. Into the Tartarus was more traumatic than the last. No amount of injuries had made the pain more bearable. No victory over a shadow ever made them any less terrifying. He saw those beasts when he slept, when he closed his eyes, when he tried to focus on the blackboard in school. How did the others expect him to maintain an ordinary life while fighting those horrendous monsters almost every night? He stepped into the backwards tower many times now, but every time he still felt terror grip him, still feared for his life every time a shadow drew near. He would never get used to it. It would never be normal to see one of those foul beasts. It would never be normal to hold a weapon and use it to defend his life. It would never be normal to hold something shaped like a gun, point it at his head, and pull the trigger.
It would never be normal to write a fan fiction like this either.
Never. It will never be normal. The evoker. Minato looked down at the device he now cradled in both hands. The device that he had inflicted so much pain, that had inflicted so much pain on his mind. He despised using it. It never got easier, since it wouldn't work if it didn't cause him sufficient mental distress. He knew it wasn't a real gun. He knew it couldn't kill him, but he still feared and hated the device. He knew that every time he used it, that horrible sensation would course through his body, a feeling that was terrible enough to evoke something buried deep down in his subconscious persona. The stress that it placed on his mind only lasted for a second, just enough to draw out the persona, but every use of the device caused him to hate it more and fear the next time he would call upon it. Ironic, then, that tonight he would use the device to bring himself pleasure. It was all too much for him. Classes, popularity, friends, exams, scheduling his time to balance them all. Every student had to deal with those things, but he had a lot more on his mind than just that. Seas, shadows, the dark hour, Tartarus, the evoker. That all placed far too much stress on his mind, stress that was only amplified each time he pulled that despicable trigger. It affected every aspect of his life now. He couldn't do a single thing without being reminded that later he was going to buy weapons from a cop, or go to hell at midnight, or feel pain rivaling that of a bullet through the brain countless times before the night was through. No aspect of life felt normal anymore. He couldn't take anything seriously knowing who he was, what he was capable of, and the activities that dominated his nights. He couldn't even look at girls without being reminded of social links and other C's-related things.
You know what the best part is most Persona fans probably can't look at girls without thinking of social links. Oh, shots
I
fired.
just want to rank up.
That was a
You,
joke before people get mad at me. Anyways, carry on.
you say you don't want to try the new burger with me? It's
Yes.
fine. No, it's fine.
Okay.
Whatever. I'm
Well,
hanging out
social link
children
reverse
everywhere.
then.
Yeah, you know what? So, I
Fuck
don't
it.
want to have a social link with you. Screw you. I don't need your comment.
Podcast over.
Done.
You play your Robopon, jack off to it.
Only if you come with. I can't say that at you.
Okay.
Girls. He felt so isolated. God, this is so stupid. Anyway. Girls. He felt so isolated from them all. He lived with Yukari and Mitsuru, but since they were nothing more than comrades, their gender counted for nothing. The opposite sex was the only thing he had ever heard anyone talk about. No girls had ever shown any interest in him. He was the only guy in his circle of friends without experience. The only... What about Ken? Anyway.
Fuck. No.
Koromar. The only guy who they hadn't been on a date. The only guy who had never been desired by a girl. Was he really that unappealing?
I just
Was
realized he doesn't reference Fuka either. Apparently Fuka doesn't count as a girl.
That's Fuka.
Well, that's because she and New Jersey girl are probably going at it every night.
I like to think Fuka got locked in a lot of other things before we found her in the gym.
The science lab, the cafeteria.
Janitor closet.
She somehow gets locked outside because they told her she was locked outside and she just believed them, so sat down and cried.
Fuck, every time.
Yes.
Was he really that unappealing? Was he really that hopeless? Would
Yes.
things always be this way? Yes. If only a girl would just like him. Oh God. See,
Not even love him, just like him.
just like notice.
I just hope that a girl senpai notices me.
Only a boy senpai likes me. He could feel better about himself. Oh God, love me, please. He would be self-confident if he knew that it was possible for a girl to like him. Because it's literally impossible now. It's just not even in the realm of possibility. But he wouldn't be appealing to girls unless he was self-confident. It was a catch-22. It was a feedback loop he could never escape from.
Never.
That feeling of inescapable despair and loneliness was what finally pushed him to the edge and drove him to do what he'd done tonight. This is having tense problems, but whatever. He wasn't even sure if it would work, but he needed comfort, relief, pleasure. He had almost forgot what it was like to enjoy himself, what it felt like to let go of everything and indulge in self-centered fun. That was what he was going to do tonight. He had struggled with this decision for so long, but his latest near-death experience in Tartarus had reminded him that he could die any night now. He didn't want to spend another night alone, desperate, insecure, worrying he'd die a virgin. If his plan worked, then he'd never have to worry about that again.
I'm not worried so much that I'm gonna die. Just as long as I die having
Right.
had sex at least once, I'm totally fine.
So, like, die by rape, like what was probably going to happen to Teddy if that fanfic got finished, he'd be fine with it. That's
I guess.
fine. Minato was surprised by the number of his personae that all had the forms of a human woman. Mara. Personae had been explained to him as physical manifestations of his subconscious psyche, or some unintelligible Freudian babble like that. All he understood was that personae were parts of him, that he drew out by using the evoker. When he first saw his inner subconscious taking the form of women, he started to fear that he might be subconsciously homosexual. That's a normal thought, okay.
My mind's taking the form of women. Do I like dudes? Wow.
This, like it's weird, don't worry everyone. But, over time, it slowly began to make sense to him. The persona were reflections of his innermost subconscious desires. Women.
And I think we reached the turning point. If you didn't know what, if you were innocent enough to not realize what this was about beforehand, yeah, yeah.
It's gonna get on, and he's not gonna use the gun. Alright. Minato was aware that he only felt the desire to engage in sexual behavior because it was part of every living organism's biological programming. He was aware that the compulsion he felt was nothing more than his body's way of assuring that he produced offspring, the only matter of importance to any biological organism. But is it like a not biological organism? Okay.
Well, there are the robot organisms like Igus.
Yeah,
why
she's
I struggle.
human.
She
But-
can cry. She's human.
I guess a retard. Anyway, but sex meant more to him than that. Having sex would be a milestone in his life. It would dictate his self-respect. It would make him feel like an equal to his peers.
Especially
Koromaru.
Koromaru, yes.
You know what? If you just like twist the skin, just put like I guess Koromaru and maybe like Ken, they're just funny enough. Oh, the rest of them. Um, he felt like there was a part of life that he was missing out on, and he wouldn't be a complete human being until he'd experienced it. Okay. Although there are a great number of people who could provide reasoning for why one should not judge one's self-worth by such standards, Minato had dwelled on the matter far too much for his mind to be easily swayed. Sex, or rather, his lack of sex, had become almost an obsession to him, frequently reinforced by the sight of all the female bodies around him. His female classmates and teachers, the attractive Yukari and Mitsuru, and the scantily clad women that emerged from his head all too often were like juicy steaks dangled in front of a starving man.
I
Hey
like
girl,
how
you're like
it's
a big juicy steak.
I like how it's stakes as in like the pole, like the sharpened
you're,
stick, and
you're
not
like a
like
big, thick thing carved
you're
out of
like
a
a
tree trunk, girl. Come
yeah.
here. Let me just pound you into the ground and put a rapid fence around you.
Yes,
Or
that's a.
chicken wire for the cock. Um, what was
He
that?
could
Oh,
not
start.
have his classmates.
Yeah, he could not have his classmates, for they showed no interest in him. Let's not stop the guy after Teddy. He could not have Yukari nor Mitsuru, for they were out of his league and his comrades before that. But the Personae were a different story, for his Personae obeyed him unquestionably. His perception of the Personae had changed over time. At first he thought that they were explained to him, he thought of them as they were explained to him, an extension of himself, taking physical form. But over time, he began to identify them as being separate from himself. Their names appeared in his mind when he obtained them, and when appearing in the Velvet Room, they spoke to him before entering his heart. The freakish, imp-like man who resided in the Velvet Room had terrified Minato at first, but over time Igor's appearances became water under the bridge once he proved to be assistive, if cryptic. His ability to fuse multiple personas had proven to be invaluable, and Minato found himself frequenting the Velvet Room more and more as his collection of personae expanded. Although Minato found himself slightly attracted to Igor's peculiar assistant, he did not imagine that anyone else in the room would be the object of his infatuation, until a routine fusion yielded the most human-looking persona he encountered yet. "I am Lilin," she had purred in a soft, demure voice. "I will think only of your well-being." Her form was of a human woman, and with the addition of two bat-like wings and a long, slim tail. Aside from these extra appendages and her long elf-like ears, she could easily have passed for an actual human woman.
You know, the flying, the shooting lightning and ice out of the body. Yeah,
Now likes ethnic people.
I guess.
So if
Ethnic people
anyone's
have magical powers, if you weren't aware before Cathedral of Shadows 11.5.
if anyone still doesn't get where this is going, then you might as well just leave because you're not going to get it.
If you don't get where this is going, something is wrong with you. Like,
You're worse than Minato.
yeah.
Um, she was supernaturally beautiful, perfect, ideal, flawless in every way. Long, dark, wavy hair, hypnotizing eyes, and a figure that would put grab your idols to shame. And that right there tells you a lot about who wrote this story. Clothed only in a white leotard, Minato's mouth fell open, and he had the persona not vanished to retreat into his heart. He might have spent all of eternity standing there, entranced by her beauty and perfection. Minato had never once attempted to abuse or misuse his powers, but the sight of this winged vixen was the feather that broke the camel's back. Or rather, the 100-pound dumbbell that snapped the camel in two.
Wow, that camel got fucked up.
Guess what day it is?
Hump
Guess
day.
what day it is?
Shit.
Minato was drawing up plans to steal his evoker from the command room and escape the dorm at night before he was even out of the Velvet Room's enigmatic blue door. He was not sure if his plan would work. In the past, every time he had summoned a persona, the being had only manifested temporarily before retreating back into him. He had never tried to issue a command to a persona that was not combat-related, and did not expect a self-respecting entity to obey his selfish whims. However, He was desperate enough to give it a try. Clearly. Minato looked down the barrel of his evoker, nervous, shaking, sweating. Was this the way he wanted to lose his virginity? He didn't care. From the looks of things, no girls were ever going to be interested in him anyway. He'd have to take whatever he could get, and he certainly wouldn't mind his first experience coming from a jaw-dropping babe like Lilum either. The tail and wings. Of course, all of these thoughts were moot if Lilum would not agree to his request. Then again, all personae so far had obeyed him without hesitation. None had shown any capacity for disloyalty. He was confident his plan would work. She was a part of him. How could she refuse him? Wait, if she was a part of him, would this be like having sex with himself? An advanced form of masturbation? I think we're all kind of thinking that. Like, there's something wrong here.
Yeah.
Uh,
Advanced form of masturbation. Like, this is
Yes.
the Super Saiyan level 3 of masturbation.
He has like a master's in this.
Yes.
He shook the thoughts from his head. As long as his hands were on that beautiful body, he didn't care about the details. He didn't have time to mull it over. The dark hour was already half over, since it had taken some time to procure his evoker, escape from the dorm, and arrive at the Love Hotel, where he now sat upon a large circular bed. This was the spot he had chosen to carry out this experiment. He could think of no place that was more fitting. He pressed the evoker to his head, closed his eyes, and prepared for the familiar pain.
Okay, so the only way I can see this next part working is if you voice Lilum and I voice Minato.
Alright, let's do it.
Okay.
You realize things will never be the same between us, right?
Yeah.
I'm so glad.
It'll be a familiar pain. It'll be a familiar pain every time we talk.
And then afterward, in Ephemeral Ecstasy, which is the name of chapter 2.
I never even noticed that the first time we read it.
God, I hate this story. Alright. And I'm narrating too, right?
Yes.
Alright. It lasted no more than a second, but it felt like an eternity. As soon as it was over, Minato tossed the sickening device to the side and looked up at the being floated before him. He had not seen her emerge from him. He'd never seen her persona materialize before, always too traumatized by the pain of the evoker to notice what was happening around him for a few seconds. Even though he had summoned her himself, her sudden presence in the room was unnerving. Before her beauty outweighed her abrupt appearance. She was just as gorgeous as he recalled, even more so up close. Every curve called out to him with a siren song, begging to be touched. The leotard teased him, begging to be torn off. Her wings fluttered, and her tail flicked to and fro in a playful, almost flirtatious manner.
God. You could tell the guy just was in the compendium, just looking at Lilum for an hour as he wrote this.
Supple.
Anti-freeze. Oh, such a great persona, yeah.
His eyes explored her body anxiously and eagerly as possibilities and wishes ran through his mind. What do you require from me, Arisato Minato? The vixen cooed in the same sultry yet innocent voice as before. He swooned and nearly fainted at the sound of his name exiting those soft, plump lips of hers.
I'm suffering,
he said.
I want you to ease my pain.
Are you injured? Lilum asked, her large eyes widening in concern. Do you require healing?
No, I'm not hurt, but I'm suffering because I need something so badly,
he said, struggling to find a tasteful way to explain his desires. What do you require? Lilum asked, leaning forward to hear his reply.
I need to touch a woman's body,
he said.
That's why I summoned you. I want to touch you.
Lilum tossed her head back and giggled, a soft laugh that sounded like droplets of water cascading into a pond. That's all? She asked happily. Well, go ahead and touch me then. Minato was frozen in dumbfounded shock that he had agreed to...
You can't vomit yet. Nothing's happened.
Yeah, I've already vomited last night. This is good. Okay. We didn't even get the fluids going yet. Before his lust snapped him out of his trance. His eyes focused on Lilum's breast. Soft and round. What other shape would they be?
Cubic.
Isosceles pyramids protruded from...
PS1 era graphics.
Those angles. Damn, girl.
Those two-dimensional sprite-based 16-bit.
And textures, damn. You even had the expansion pack in. Donkey Kong 64 shit.
Little boobs and knuckles.
I want your Candy Kong, girl. And smooth in every possible adjective you could think of.
Like
Supple,
salty.
pudding-like, abrasive, redacted,
Smelly.
inverted, compatible, annexed,
Cutting edge.
scanned. Anyway.
Innovative. Free.
Pirated. Oh man, this is kind of more fun than the other thing. Anyway, yeah, oh boy. He raised his hands and timidly, gingerly moved them toward her chest, trembling with nervousness. Finally, he let go of his inhibitions and bravely seized her breast with his hands.
Like he conquered them.
Yes, let's just plant a flag right in there. The one that Teddy was like.
The teddy flag of Japan.
Just like the circle with just like a crying teddy bear. Attack these breasts. A long sigh of relief and satisfaction passed his lips, and he began to massage Willem's breast gently. He explored the texture and the feel of the breasts, squeezing them and pushing them. Get out of here.
Shoot.
Observing how they reacted to his hands.
Like playing King of the Hill.
Solidified. They melted. He smiled contently, growing more aroused by the sack, until he became overwhelmed with lust and buried his face between her breasts.
Okay.
The white fabric that separated her smooth skin from his face annoyed him, but was far too happy. Wait, the white fabric that separated annoyed him, but was... Does that make sound like the white fabric was far too happy to be upset?
No.
Whatever, as it should be. He squeezed her breasts together, pressing them against his head, and then reached around to her back to press her body forward, bringing her breasts into his face. Breathe deeply, child. As his hands found her back, he felt a metallic strip running down the back of her outfit.
A zipper.
He realized. This is how Teddy feels. This is so much like Teddy.
Little is Teddy.
Spoilers. A zipper, he realized, and quickly found the slider. He eagerly, quickly unzipped her leotard and slipped his hands inside. Minato's hands roamed all across Lilith's back as he bathed in the smoothness of her skin. Once or twice he was startled to suddenly feel her wings against his hands, but he soon got used to it. He moved
Just
his
like
face...
him fucking a bat.
Such a familiar feeling.
Familiar pain. Is the bat
That
sucks my blood.
echolocation.
Yeah.
He moved his face away from her. That's actually a pretty funny image. Just like this bat like screaming at him to like get certain measurements. He moved his face away from her chest, and the white fabric fell away, exposing two large, beautiful breasts. Minato once again sighed happily, and then once again buried his face into her chest, returning his hands to her front to rub and massage her breasts again. This is like the same paragraph, now that they were bare.
The one difference.
He moaned into her chest, sighing her name happily. What's that? What? I sound villain. Oh. Can't hear you in there. The movement of his lips against her skin introduced a new sensation to him, like a something like that. Once he, like a vacuum in a pool. Once he eagerly explored by kissing and licking every inch of Lilim's bare breasts. Every inch. He fondled one breast while sucking the nipple of the other, alternated breasts when he saw fit. to reverse that and returned his face to her cleavage when he missed it. What?
I'm getting
Oh,
homesick.
I'm so lonely from this breast that's 2 inches away from my face. There we go.
Best of both worlds.
This is actually a really funny side. I hope nobody finds this sexy.
Are
He
you saying you
sighed.
don't?
Not yet, at least. I have to wait for the dark hour
Okay.
to finish, or when it gets to the end. Like something. He sighed and moaned her name many times.
Lola. Lola.
So many times. And wished the moment would never end. Dot dot dot. Time. The dark hour. He remembered that his time was limited. He didn't have time to savor every part of Lil that he wanted to. He had to finish what he had come there to do before
So
the
he
dark
got out
hour
his red
ended.
paintbrush and put the Japanese flag on it, and then left.
He finished stripping Lilim of her leotard. God, it takes like 4 paragraphs to get that shit off. And then looked at her face for the first time since he had plunged into her breast. 1,000 leagues under the breast. He was smiling shyly, a bright red blush across her face. He found her expression to be adorable, and was overcome with a desire to hold her close. He wrapped his arms tightly around her, his cheeks pressing against her own. He tilted his head and firmly pressed his lips to hers. For the next few minutes, he tried awkwardly to figure out how kissing worked, failing many times but enjoying the trial and error process very much. How
not
do you
that hard.
screw that up?
You can't.
You can watch Tom and Jerry and figure out how to do that. Like,
Do I put
damn.
my mouth here? No, wait, no. There we go. Did it. Ooh. It's like an algebra problem or some shit.
Many times. Solve for X, motherfucker. Like, how do you... Anyway, finally he seemed to get the hang of it. Lilim's really dumb because she's not doing nothing. And Lilim began to move her mouth in tandem with his. He fondled her breast eagerly while kissing her, and moaned and sighed into her mouth. Whoa, whoa. He's just like shouting at me the whole duration of this album in his mouth as much as he had done. He kissed her harder, more passionately, and fondled her breasts roughly, feverishly. How
He's
rough can
playing
I
Pong with them. Boop. Boop.
How rough can I be with her? He wondered, having difficulty restraining himself from groping and kissing too hard. The building pressure between his legs begged him to be released, and while still kissing her, he began to remove his clothing. I imagine that'd be kind of difficult to do because the shirt's gotta go like over your head.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe he just like put it over his head, like over all of her body, tail and all. Once he was nude, a positive phrase, or I'm sorry, introductory phrase. He kissed Lilim hard, which he's been doing already, then pulled her toward him so that she was on the bed with him. What? Where was she before? Whatever.
The ceiling.
Flying with those wings,
Yeah.
supported by tail. His hand slid down to her ass, which he grabbed and groped happily. His penis rubbed against her thigh, sending a wave of pleasure through him. I mean, whatever. He began to move his pelvis back and forth against her, moaning and sighing as he did. Whoa! He's not gonna moan into her ass.
Oh, the one problem with this story.
Ruined. Lost it. Can't finish.
1 out of 5.
He pushed her off of him.
Get the fuck out.
Get off of me, bitch. He was like, flat on
April
the
Fool's, motherfucker.
What are we gonna do in the bed? She laying flat on the circular bed, then climbed on top of her and began rubbing his penis against her thigh. The thigh, twice in one paragraph. God, you have horrible aim. He doesn't know how to do that either. He sighed happily from the stimulation, then thought of how pleasant it would be to rub his penis against her ass.
Just rub.
This is your line.
Hey, could you please get on your hands and knees for me?
Sure. She said simply in a voice that was as prim as it was seductive. So I guess it'd be more like, sure. She readjusted, one word, her position so that she was on all fours before him. Minato immediately began rubbing his dick against her ass. He moaned loudly in isolation and then spanked the ass cheek he was not grinding against. God, who just pokes a butt with a? Who just pokes one ass cheek with a? God, so
Just for
cool.
shits and gigs.
Should. Anyway, William yelped and looked back toward him. But the expression on her face was one of amusement and intrigue. Minato and humped her harder and used his other hand to fondle her breast from behind. Lim's tail flicked and wagged happily.
This is heaven.
He sighed to himself. With Willem still on all fours, Minato rubbed his dick on whatever part of her body he pleased. Elbows,
Elbows, the
knee,
knees,
a little spot behind the ear. Mm,
the
damn,
shoulder pad.
such free. Girl, let me touch your shoulder pads, ankles, the very essence of life. Touching almost every inch of her soft skin with his throbbing penis. Every time he caressed her with his dick, he felt himself coming close to the climax.
Not good. I haven't even put it in yet.
He's not trying very hard, damn. Anyway, but he was having too much fun to stop.
Whee!
This is fun,
Lay down on your back.
he instructed, and Lilim obeyed. Okay. He pressed his dick against her. This is aggravating. And moaned loudly. He humped her breast. He put it between. How do you put your dick between one breast? Like, you just have kind of schmooze over the whatever. He humped her breast and then straddled her waist, slid his dick between her breasts, pushed. It's like weaving in and out. Started waist, slid his dick between her breasts, pushed them together, and began to pump his dick between her breasts. So we have this kind of S shape going on. The arousal and stimulation provided from her breast was what finally pushed Minato to his climax and sent a spray of semen splashing onto Lilim's face. He moaned. He moaned loudly and collapsed on top of her.
I'm done now.
His dick still between her breasts, which would mean his abdomen is crushing her face. He holds her chest gently forward, just like a fish out of water, while running out of steam.
Windows is shutting down. Do 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 do.
Control Alt Delete, and flipping over onto his back. So I guess
Fuck automatic updates.
Now I guess his ass is on her face. He moaned loudly and collapsed on top of her again. His dick. Oh, I already read that. Now. Wait, okay, yeah, he already ran out. Good. Now that his libido had subsided, common sense returned to Minato. He realized that the dark hour must be close to ending. He began to rack his brain for the best way to make the most out of his remaining time with Lilim. Although he pondered a great deal of things, his mind frequently returned to the one activity he was eager to experience. Sitting on the edge of the bed, Minato spoke to his persona.
Lilim, on your knees in front of me, okay?
Okay, she answered, perking up peak. With Lilim kneeling in front of him, Minato rubbed his cock against her face. It was only half erect, but he felt drained from his ejaculation, but he was going to make the most out of his remaining time.
By rubbing it on her face. That's just mean.
You're lying, Minato-kun.
Oh my god. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, Lilim Senpai. I want you to suck on this.
He instructed. Whatever this thing is. This thing.
This.
All this stuff, just suck on this. Alright. Lilim replied happily. I sound like Marge Simpson.
Fuck. Can't unsee.
Lisa! Shooting at the... Don't have a cop, man. She began to suck on the top of his penis gently.
Oh God.
Minato moaned, falling back into the bed.
Keep doing that.
Lilum continued to gently suckle on the tip of Minato's penis, gripping the shaft with one hand.
Make the noise.
Um,
Oh yeah, move your head up and down.
this is so stupid. We're never doing this again. Martin.
Oh yeah.
Minato gasped.
Oh God. Can you take it further in? Suck on more of it. Suck on all of it if you can.
This is. Lilum took more of Minato's penis into her mouth, moving her head forward until she had taken in as much as she could without gagging.
Oh my. Now move back and forth. They dancing to Soldier Boy or some shit.
It's like the cha-cha slide. To the left. 2 hops this time.
Now back and forth.
Uh,
Summon your Mara. Do 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 do.
Lila moved her lips from the base of Minato's shaft to the tip and back again. Minato moaned in pleasure, his legs kicking and toes kicking.
Just toes kicking.
He was just this like kid, like this little kid in the bed, just like back and forth, just kicking his leg like all hyper.
You know, I'm not even sure if I can like have this text on the screen of the video. I might leave this part blank, and people are gonna need to find familiar pain on their own because I don't feel comfortable looking to this either. Something tells me that's against YouTube policy.
Well, fortunately, we have a quick number you can use to reference things on the site. So you can just type in the number and I'll bring you right to it. Isn't that convenient?
What's the number?
I don't know. I'll look it up later if I'm top of the page. So yeah, I guess Minato likes to kick this girl who is in front of him. That's not how this works. That's unless you're into that, you might be.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Still into this. Okay, your line.
Was? I thought we're on. Oh God. Oh wait. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh
That is
God.
my line. I'm dumb. Oh God. I love you. I love you.
He gasped. Lilum giggled. Something about the persona's laugh reminded him of Yukari, and the popular girl entered Minato's mind. Almost immediately, he pictured her performing fellatio on him. He closed his eyes and pretended that she was the one with her lips on his cock. Alright, you know what? That's kind of mean to Lilum. I mean, Lilum's been a real good sport through all of this.
Oh yeah. Yukari. Oh.
He began to move his pelvis up and down as he laid on his back, moving his penis into her mouth as she took it in. He began to search for other girls to think of.
Oh, Mitsuru Senpai. Oh.
Oh, look, Mitsuru noticed him. Senpai noticed him. He grabbed Lilum's head and thrust it downward so that her face was buried. Oh, this is the most awkward line in all this. He grabbed Lilum's head and thrust it downward so that her face was buried in his pubic hair.
Oh, Mitsuru. Oh.
He moaned the names of every attractive girl and idol he'd ever wanted to take to bed, humping Lilum's face.
Mara. Fuka.
Komaru. Komaruka.
Isabeau.
Ken.
Oh, nope. Arioke.
Did you say Gary Oak?
No, I said Arioke. That's the vagina demon.
You cannot ignore Gary Oak's curve. Grandpa gave me that. You couldn't ignore my curve.
Me and Gary Oak anger fuck after every Pokemon battle.
Haha, oh wow.
Gotta catch it all, Ash.
Charmeleon. Alright. Where do we put up? Who's raping who now? Okay. He moved his blah 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 and such. He began to search for. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We will stop people. Okay. Omutsuro. Oh. He moaned the name. Oh yeah. You're man. You're line.
Oh. Lilum on your back. Spread your legs.
It sounds like a dance. Just. Minato instructed eagerly. Lilum wordlessly obeyed, a tiny smile on her lips. Her charming eyes locked onto Minato's. He climbed on top of her, panting heavily, admiring her body eagerly.
I'm
This is
gonna
the best
fuck
thing,
this girl.
he said to himself.
I'm gonna have sex. Yeah.
Yeah! Let's do
Yeah.
it, guys. Come on, yeah.
The enemy is knocked down. Is this our chance?
Let's go, partner. I've been waiting for this.
Woof woof.
God, I hate Koromaru. This is like dime store like rock. He grabs his dick and gazes down her vagina. It's like he's like looking into the Grand Canyon, just like vast chasm to just. After taking a moment to study the appearance of a real, live, actual pussy, that's like a pop-up ad. He plunged inside. Just dive right.
Move for the liquor, then die. No, pool for liquor, then you die.
Back still giving it in Chicago. Shout out to the last fic. Spill. Lulum yelped, and Minato moaned. He immediately began to thrust himself in and out of her wildly and roughly.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, fuck yeah. America.
Fake tits, fuck yeah. Republicans, fuck yeah. Democrats, fuck yeah.
Bed Bath and Beyond, fuck yeah.
He humped her passionately, and you're past humping, dude. He humped her passionately and frantically, not attempting to find any rhythm, only doing what felt right.
Well, now that Persona 4 Dancing All Night is coming out, he can't find rhythm.
He slid his hands up and down her body, moaning against her skin, burying his face between her breasts, humping her harder and faster with each thrust.
I love you, fuck yeah. Oh wait, hold on.
What's that? You're charting my supple bosom? He screamed into her cleavage more than once, no longer attempting to act like his normal self, only to act upon his desires. Oh, you're way past that, buddy. He once again began to pretend that he was having sex with whatever girl came to mind, calling out their names against Lilum's skin. He was groping and squeezing her body violently now. His fingers like barbed wire into her flesh, without caring whether or not it hurt her. Oh, damn. When he imagined that the girl he was fucking was Mitsuru, he screamed her name at the top of his lungs.
Mitsuru!
Top of the lungs, Rasen. I want you to scream this. Wake the family.
Mitsuru! I would rather not wake up my stepdad and little sister while enacting erotic fanfiction.
I think Nanako needs to be a part of this. Go get her.
No.
You have your very own Nanako.
Welcome
home, big bro.
No.
Squeezed Lilith's breast roughly and reached his climax, coming deep inside of her. He collapsed on top of her, panting, heaving heavily, continuing to pull until he was too exhausted to even twitch.
Wow.
I'm too exhausted to twitch.
I can't even twitch, guys.
The word twitch should not really, if it's going to be in a story like this, it should have happened a while ago. We're past the point of twitching. He felt Lilum's hand stroking his back softly, affectionately. He looked into her eyes and saw happiness. He caressed her cheek and gave her a kiss. Have I cured your suffering?
Yeah.
Minato said, between heaves of breath. That is good, because I can no longer stay.
Oh, that's right.
Farewell, until next time. Lilum began to fade away, becoming transparent. Minato could no longer feel the warmth of her body.
Oh.
He acted on his first impulse, reached to give her breast one last squeeze.
Mm.
But his hand passed through her.
Aw.
Oh, sorry. Her abrupt leave was far too sudden, but it was to be expected.
Until next time,
He said to her fading form. Lilum vanished. She was gone, and Minato was alone. Minato flipped onto his back and looked at his own naked, heaving, sweaty form in the mirror on the ceiling.
Did I do the right thing?
He wondered.
Is my attitude magically going to change overnight because I had sex?
He dwelt on it.
I guess I won't know just yet, but I had a lot of fun. I'm really glad I did that. I just hope that nobody finds out.
He spent a minute or so regaining his strength, then took a shower to clean away the many fluids that now stained his skin.
Many.
Maybe stink. Whatever. After drying off, he clothed himself, retrieved his evoker, and exited the Love Hotel.
And then he decided to molest Teddy in a dark room.
Good, good. I'd be upset if he didn't.
Same.
There was no...
That's what I do after having sex with my persona.
Of course. There was no way to sneak past. Love hotels are made to be as discreet as possible. And this particular hotel utilized a panel of buttons and a credit card slot rather than a front desk receptionist. This is basically an abandoned building. Once Minato returned to the dorm, he used the same method for entry as he used for exit. As the door is locked at midnight on non-Tartarus nights, he was forced to climb out of a window using a rope fashioned from bed sheets tied together. Climbing up the rope proved to be more difficult than climbing down, but after some exertion, the trip was completed. After tiptoeing to the command room to return the evoker and tiptoeing back, Minato's mission was complete. Unfortunately, he failed to remember that Mitsuru examines previous night's security cameras recordings every morning. Author's note. To be continued, TBC. I don't know. I'll keep writing if people like what I've written so far, I guess. So, listeners, that's your mission. Get a chapter 3 for this, please. It hasn't been updated since February 9th, 2009.
Oh, shit.
And if you want the, ID of this story, as we mentioned
because there's no fucking way I'm gonna risk putting this on my channel, like text or link. It's 4851557.
Yes. So you're just gonna do www.fanfiction.net/s/that number, and it should bring you right to it.
And it's called Familiar Pain.
Yes. And we thank you for sharing your familiar pain with us.
Yeah, I'm sorry I'm sorry if we traumatized any of you.
You know what you were getting into.
Wow. Also, like half the reviews are people saying, "I love this. Please continue." Yeah.
Yeah. Take care of each other and yourselves.
Oh my God.
Thanks for all that you do.
Wow.
It's been a pleasure.
Do you want to read emails or no?
We can do that. Why not?
All right. It's been fairly long, I think, already. So let's just do 3.
All right. That sounds good.
Ooh, this one's fairly long. Hey, Rasen, Katsu, and whoever else is with you.
What's up?
Thank you very much. This is from John, by the way. So,
Hi, John.
Yes. Thank you very much for reading my last email. I have 3 questions for you this time. I don't know if one of them has been asked already, since I didn't tune in until recently. Oh, thank you. Glad you stayed. You're probably going to be scared off after this, but I hope you will answer it.
After this thing, man.
Yeah. 1. Would you like to have the feature to nickname your demons like in Pokemon? If so, what would you nickname some of them? I would like that. I wouldn't mind it. You don't keep them around very often, but still.
You get emotionally attached to them because you named it.
Yeah.
How can you fuse something you named?
I don't know what I'd name mine. I really would. I don't know. Probably after other stuff, of course.
I named them all after my friends.
That would.
You can be. I'm gonna name my Mara Rasen.
I will too. Just to make me feel better about myself.
It's like you're really fighting demons with your penis.
Oh my God, yes.
That'd be a fine feature, though. I mean, it doesn't hurt anything. It's just like in Pokemon. Do you want to nickname it? If yes, name it. If not, no, and it's fine. Why not?
Exactly. 2. Are there any demons that are exclusive to old SMT games, but not new SMT games, that you would like to see make a return in future titles? Some of my favorite original designs are for demons that have not made any appearance since SMT 1 and 2 or SMT 9, and because of their age, their original artwork is not featured in the game. Here are some examples. And then he says Cthulhu, Aryan Rahad, and Maria. I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Did the drag queen from Soul Hacker show up in anything else?
I don't think so.
'Cause I remember that on the game FAQs, and it's gonna be good.
Yeah,
There's so many topics about that thing. How do I get a drag queen? How do I get a drag queen? Because there's like all these people who like identified with the drag queen demon.
yeah,
You get it?
yeah.
Demon strolling. Can you recruit that thing?
I don't think so.
I've never been able to get that to go.
You
So
tried.
temperamental.
You were the one making the topics, weren't you?
Yep, I made all kinds of alts years ago, so no one would suspect a thing. But now you know my secret.
Uh, I'd say Kodama because he hasn't appeared since Nocturne. It's been over a decade since we last saw Kodama. He's only really been in Nocturne and nothing else really, which is a shame. Um, and then question 3. I'm sure Katsu would have others, but Katsu's not with us for this episode. Um, this is third question, kind of long. That's okay. Why do you think there hasn't been any controversy involving the SMT games from religious groups? As you know, SMT is a series that is heavily based on religion and occult mythology, and religious groups, both Christian and non-Christian, love to bash these things. Being someone who was born and raised in an extremely Christian family and currently goes to a private Christian school, my parents have always been very strict about what I watch and play during my free time. When I was a kid, she wouldn't let me watch Yu-Gi-Oh!, saying that it was satanic and that it involves communications with demons and spirits and whatnot. That's understandable if you've seen the dub, but when I started watching GX, she said the same thing. Now, my mom lets me play SMT, but that's mainly because she doesn't care about what I play as long as it's not a shooter. And when I told my dad about it, he was like, cool. I know pastors are always bashing games like Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto in their sermons, but I've never brought up SMT. When the makers of the game Smite wanted to put Shiva in their game, the Hindus protested, even though SMT has had him and other Hindu gods for years. Don't even get me started on South Park and Muhammad in the bear costume. So what's your opinion? Why do you think there hasn't been much controversy about these games? I think this is something both of us are fairly equipped to handle, being that we're
Yeah.
both Catholic and grew up in. I'm assuming your family was also Catholic raised.
Oh, yep. That's it.
Okay, yeah. To be honest, I guess we're going to. My parents never really cared exactly what I played. They're like, I couldn't play like M-rated games till I was like 13, but like I just would have my uncle buy them for me anyways, so like that didn't even really matter. Um, uh, yeah, I kind of get the overprotectiveness thing, and I think with like SMT, it doesn't look like something that like just judging from the cover, which a lot of people do, it doesn't look like something that's that bad. It looks like every other Japanese role-playing game, just based off the cover alone, for most of them.
It's easy to compare this to like the whole like Pokemon befriending demons things from the 90s, which we don't need to go over again because we all know about it.
Yeah.
But I'll say two things about that to compare is that back then video games were still kind of like newly mainstream, and I mean that took the Western world by storm, and that was a big thing, and
Well,
people
that's
didn't
the
really
thing.
know much
Anything
about
that's
it.
a fad and anything that's new media is going to be bitched about. People bitched about radio when that came out
Right.
because you can spread information really fast. That's bad, guys. We don't want information that's wrong being spread over the airwaves. People bitched about television. Oh, you can see things you might not want, like shouldn't be able to see, and you'll become addicted, and your brain will be fried. That's really bad, guys. Oh no, everyone can listen to music on their go, and there's all this like metal and stuff. Oh no, that's bad. Everyone's going to be Satanist. Whatever's new and is like becoming popular, people will bitch about it.
And the world's moving fast now. It's a very different world than it was 10, 15 years ago. And in terms of religion and what their each individual interest group is going after, Shin Megami Tensei is not on their radar. They've got other
Oh,
things to worry about.
fuck
They're
no.
working with passing legislation. They're talking about keeping the youth in the church or wherever, the mosque, wherever you go.
And the last thing, especially with that too, a lot of groups, especially in the United States, I know, are struggling with keeping like youth interested, mainly because of like stuff like, oh, you're not allowed to play Pokemon because it's satanic. It's stuff like that is drawing people, like shoving people away from religion and stuff. And like that's what they're trying to avoid now because they realize how dogmatic and how like off-putting that is to just say because religion isn't something that should be about you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do this. It should be this is what you should do,
And
and
here's why you
this
should
is
like want to do it. I
and
mean,
this
it
is
has a
and
benefit
yeah.
for you and for others. If we all behave this way, we all have benefit. We can help each other.
exactly. That's the push that religion has been trying to be making, or at least the more, I guess, progressive ones, is religion often gets the connotation of like being limiting and telling people what they can't do, when in actuality, a
So
lot
we
of the
should do.
it's about what we yeah, like it's about like
Like if you
how to help
considered this,
them.
this would help. If you act this way, this thing comes
Yeah.
to it helps
And
people.
that's what more of the progressive religious groups have been doing, or progressive religious people, I guess, because within groups there's always the more traditionalist.
In any group, there's
Yeah,
always going to be somebody who takes something to the extreme and ruins it for everybody. And everyone's got their own, individual thoughts on this and that. I mean, like growing up, one of my best friends was from a super religious household. I mean, my family was religious too, but I mean, we didn't have. My parents bought me Nintendo games, and well, they'd play with me, and we had fun, and including Pokemon,
well,
in case someone's curious.
I just want
No,
to throw something out there. How many people do you hear now that say, "Well, I'm religious, but I don't give a crap about like gay marriage or like abortion or any of that"? Like,
most.
exactly. Like, most religious people don't care about that crap, like about that stuff anymore. Like, they've accepted that it's a change that's happening, that equality should be had for like stuff like that. Like, it is becoming more progressive as the years go on. It really is.
I mean, because people don't want. I mean, you can have your opinion, but like people don't want to cut off potential relationships, friendship or otherwise, with people over things like that.
Yeah,
Whatever happens in the next life, we're all here now. We gotta coexist.
exactly. And like, it's fine if you don't want to do something personally because it interferes with your personal belief system. But when you start forcing it upon others is when the issues arise and when it makes your own faith look bad, which is something my priest always said is like, what people get wrong is you're not supposed to shove people through the door. You're supposed to open the door for them and then invite them in.
Right, and everything that you are is you're constantly representing what you are. Your religion, your political ideology, your country,
Exactly.
your family.
If
You
you're being
are
a forceful dick,
right.
then people are going to assume you're a forceful dick. If you're nice about it, then people are going to say, "Oh, maybe so and so and this group and this type of thing isn't that bad."
People remember you. Say like, well, I don't particularly like this group of people, but they might remember you, and you might be a part of that group, and they'll think like, yeah, but this person was that, and he was actually really nice to me, or he came through for me. She remembered me. Things like that.
Yeah, I think that answers that.
Wow, this is very progressive. I'm happy to be a part of this. God bless you
Yes.
all, or not, whatever.
Yeah. Uh, wow, that was I think the deepest Cathedral of Shadows has gotten. Um,
Mm,
wow, thank you, John, for that that question.
go in peace.
Wow. Um, solving all of the world's issues one at a time. Cathedral
And
of
we're
Shadows.
live at Cathedral of Shadows, calling now.
Holy shit! I just realized we just in 20 within 20 minutes we just got done with reading an erotic fan fiction to talking about religion and progressivism and wow.
Stay in
Uh,
school, don't do drugs,
yeah.
don't fuck demons.
This is from Automatic, and it says, "Hi guys, I hope the forces of neutrality would help you through on your way. I shall cast Summary Karm when Mastimo stabs you in the back as the lost scum he is. I have a few questions. Uh, if you were a demon in the SMT universe, which race would you be? Hmm,
Hmm.
guess hero.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Just be a hero.
Because I'm so heroic.
If you were a demon, what would you be? Physical, magic, or support oriented? I'd be physical because then I could just kill everything.
I think that'd be more fun.
Yeah. What is your favorite demon personality trait? And then he says he'd go with the punk slash tough guy personality.
I like that one. What's that? The Fluxy, or what's that chicken Japanese person? And that demon. It has in SMT4. It has like that like old man personality where it's
Oh
like
yeah,
oh, you're my old drinking buddy. Have some money.
yeah. Oh, I was about to say the old man type. Like, yeah, yeah. Like
I like that one.
the old man one is always funny because like they always join you for really stupid reasons
Right.
too. Like, oh, grandson, is that you? Okay, let's go on an adventure. It's like it's always stupid stuff, and
I
I
kind
love that.
I kind of like the bitchy teenage girl one too. It's like, give me thing, give me more, give me more. Okay, bye. Like,
Yes,
man, screw you.
standard white teenage girl.
You're fusion fodder, and you know it.
And have you noticed that in most alignment-based SMT games, except for SMT4, the best healing skill is prayer, and in non-alignment SMT games, the best healing skill is salvation? Not noticed that, but now I have. And then the last thing, and if Mara is a penis, which demon is the vagina? Oh, that's Arioke.
There we go.
Yeah.
Some things are just so clear cut in this world.
Yes. Thank you, Automatic. And the last one's from Apostrophe Man. He actually saved this image. Katsu saw it earlier. And Katsu enjoyed this image. I'll probably have it. Actually, I'll probably have it as the background for this episode. Why the fuck not? It's pretty great. It's an image of me dealing with female characters of SMT games.
What?
You'll have to wait and see, Sparky.
Keep me in the dark.
You know they all pretend. You could probably form a playlist of all the songs we've referenced in this episode.
Yeah, why did we not have like a soundtrack people can download?
Pirate Skulls and Bones.
You can rock out the COS even when we're not here.
That's actually really creepy. Let's see. Let's say that one female / man, in case you have a female guest, of the SMT universe must be your real life wife / husband. Who would be the best and worst, and why?
I'm gonna think about this for a minute. Hold on a minute.
I would say the best. God, people are gonna start waifu crap from this. I can already tell. I'd say the best would be Namissa because she was hilarious during the entirety of Soul Hackers. Her character is half the reason I finished Soul Hackers, just because the crap she said was hilarious. That or Haru, because Haru always seemed chill and I liked her. Actually, Haru was one of the two characters from Devil Survivor I actually like. So, yeah.
I'm gonna second Namissa because she'd be fun to hang around with, And I feel like most of the others are just kind of one kind of stereotypical personality.
Yeah.
And I kind of like someone with at least a little bit of interest there.
And worst, Fuka.
Oh God, I can't stand Fuka.
Can't.
She's just so pathetic. She just goes to pieces over nothing. Just sat there and waited for someone to get out of the gym. I mean, in every gym I've ever been in, there's been at least 4 exits. Can't one of them work or pull the fire alarm or crack a window and do something? Damn it! And another thing about Fuka, oh, I don't know if I can do this. Oh, you can do this, Fuka. You got this, girl.
Yeah.
You know what? No, Fuka could stay. If it's screwing to missing too, I want to be with the Jersey girl. I want to take her to the turnpike. And curb stop Fuka and marry. What's her name? We always forget this.
I don't know. I always forget. It starts with an N.
It's
I don't
know.
It's Natsumi or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, that's it.
It's we
I'll just call her Newark.
We just call her New Jersey Persona Girl. My God. Okay.
Her and Mara, man, best couple.
And then Automatic says, I think the worst would be Yukari because she's crazy. And maybe the best would be Isabeau for him. Too, if you had to choose a companion for your day-to-day activities like Navi and Zelda, but from the support SMT characters like Igor, Chiaki, Burroughs, Zelendon, etc., who would you choose, and who would be the worst?
I like Burroughs, even though her when she announces I'll just that quest or whatever, it just sounds out of place after something dramatic.
Yeah. You just, oh no, everyone we know and love has died. Congratulations on completing the quest. I would, okay, so he actually says the worst would be Burroughs because
I like Burroughs.
Imagine her adding quests for things like wash the dishes / go to school and stuff like that. I guess
that make me feel like I accomplished things that I should just do anyway.
You know what? I would probably have to say Burroughs would be the best.
I like Burroughs.
I agree
Plus I like GLaDOS too from Portal. I like talking computer women.
What does that say about you?
Better than being into Lilong. No, like they're just kind of maybe it's just because like I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
the
like
worst would be Lilum. I put that.
because it's kind of like scientific-y. It's like you remember like Dexter's Laboratory where he's got the computer that talks
Yeah.
like that. Like Dexter, your thing's done mixing. Thank you, computer.
What was that one episode that everyone omelette
Oh,
du fromage?
I'm gonna do for much. Have you ever seen the one where they like swear or
No.
whatever? There was like it was like a lost episode and they put it up again. It's like it's called like Dexter's something removal, foul removal, bad removal.
He swears.
Rude removal. No, Dexter's rude removal. It was like kind of like a lost episode, and they like swear.
Do they swear constantly, or is it just once?
No, it's pretty consistent, but the one I saw was censored. I assume maybe there's an uncensored version, but I don't know.
Oh my. Okay, those are the three questions. Remember to send personal questions for next Cathedral of
Intimate
Shadows.
questions.
Yes.
Make
This,
Rasen squirm.
oh Jesus. No, this
Twitch.
yeah, you make me twitch. No, this fan fiction did that enough. You know what? I don't think I'm ever gonna be able to play an SMT game the same and look at Lilum in the same manner after this. Like I'll just always think of familiar pain.
That's because there's a newness to her now. You see her in a different dimension without that leotard. The zipper has been pulled. Embrace this.
It's at
Taste
times
this.
like this when I wish the evoker was a real firearm.
Too real, man. Too real.
Oh shit, I think we're done.
I think so too.
I need to take a shower. Get this Japanese flag off of me.
Uh,
Bye.
bye.